God, Schnitzel, man. Can you imagine if you ran into Horses Randall?
Where do you get the models?
But I like it.
It's freaking nuts. I'm like, I don't remember this in the movie. I definitely don't.
So no, we just worked around the problem. We didn't fix it.
You wash your mouth out with soap, young man.
It's so
Mash
blurry.
people.
It looks like there's 3 wind lances in it.
Oh, they have a gua here. It's like, cool, I knocked that bitch prone.
We've got Bayon the Big Bear, Tariel with an elf bow, 2 men.
No. Also, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Get in hot while the pancakes are out. Welcome back to Mountain Goat Gaming, where we like to eat nuts and watermelon instead of McDDs. So, brought to you today, I am Jay, Alex, and Tyler are joining me uber late at night. So, thank you, boys, for jumping on. We are here to talk about the meta watch for the good Armies of Middle-earth strategy battle game. And today, we have kind of adapted this video a little bit differently to what the evil one was. And the main difference here is that there are a shitload more good armies in the game than there are evil armies in the game right now. So we've gone for more variety rather than our top 3 picks and doing a 600 and 800 variant. Spoiler alert, the lists that have both a 600 and 800 point version we think are very good, hence why we've thrown them in there too. So you guys will get a bit of a deep dive into our brains as to where we think the meta is, and definitely what you should be looking for if you're going to a tournament to win a game. However, please don't forget to like, subscribe us, and a massive shout out to our 2 sponsors, the Bard's Table and Oz Wargaming, where if you use code GOATS in capital letters, you will give us a handy little kickback and you guys a handy little discount. On the note of discounts, I recently just purchased a, what are they called? The little dwarves.
Champions.
The Champions of Erebor, thank you. Box set that Oswald Gaming has at the moment, and he was running a Christmas sale that I've just found out has been extended until mid-February. So if you use code GOATS with Oswald Gaming, you're going to get up to 40% off your order. So big sales, big savings. He's already got a couple of army bundles put together there for you. Alternatively, you could just message him and he'll just print you whatever you want. He's a printing fiend, and I love it. It's great for me, and it feeds my addiction. Hopefully, it feeds yours. Without further ado, guys, we're going to jump straight into this with Defenders of the Pelennor. So, 800 points, we've got Legolas with the Elven Cloak and Armor, mainly just for versatility, and I had a couple of points spare. He will be leading 10 Warriors of the Dead with a shield, and a single Warrior of the Dead for that sweet banner point that hopefully never dies. I've then got Aemir with the horse. I've given him throwing spears. He will be leading 6 Royal Guard with horses and throwing spears, and 6 more riders, just to give a cavalry contingent to the game. Then I've got Irilas. As much as it hurts my heart to say this, he is fucking great in this. He is so good. He will be leading 9 Citadel Guard with spear and 2 with longbow, just for a few extra shots in there. The main thought behind this list here was the fact that you will have a line of Warriors of the Dead as your front line. They will then be backed up when they do get there, because there is a movement gap and Spectral Walk is involved. Your sit guard with +1 to wound will get the spears as well. So, correct me if I'm wrong, fight 4 spears with +1 to wound, D8 front line, with Aemir being the cavalry contingent and Legolas being Legolas doing his things. I've opted to give Legolas the leader for 2 reasons. One, I think you can give Legolas a different role depending on the army that you're versing. And that's just how I see this. Tyler, can you please talk me through the strengths of this list, and then we're going to flick over to Alex for the weaknesses on how you would pull this apart.
So obviously, I've played against the Warriors of the Dead, and the 8-inch Spectral Walk is actually pretty terrifying, considering they can just ignore a lot of terrain. So that's definitely a plus. Obviously, Legolas is a huge plus as well, still with his shooting, and even more deadly whilst being in combat. I do think as well, having basically 13 mounted guys that can just run amok is pretty good, considering they can be crunch on an edge or multiple edges of your normal battle line, and having a pseudo 6-inch circle of your +1 Citadel guard to wound. It's like your Blades of the Dead are normally going to be wounding on 5s for most things, 5s or 4s typically. And then they're basically wounding at the same level, if not better at times. Just makes it just super duper consistent. You have a good amount of might as well. You have, what is it, still 8 might?
With a free hero combat for each of them.
And then lastly, that's all I was going to say. So the
Sorry.
free heroic combat once
Your
per
weaknesses.
game. The only thing is Legolas. The
He's
concerns I have with him bluffing is
Oh, don't worry.
astronomical.
I'm gonna get onto that. That idiot.
I need you to roll your Syl dice, and if you can, come to Syl to get more Syl dice this year to make sure your Legolas doesn't fluff. Because oh my god, the amount of times I've seen Legolas fluff over the past month and a half has been crazy. So AMR obviously got the buff. What does his horse do again? His
12-inch move, baby.
That's right. It's a freaking it's 12-inch move. Yeah, I definitely think AMR's ability, and it has throwing spears, fight 6. Does he still get +1 strength in the charge in this, or does he stay strength 4?
Strength 4.
That's going to be an interesting one. But otherwise, I love this list. It's going to be good. And the good thing as well that I liked was at least half of your army, I think, can, with the exception of the Royal Guards, can the Citadel Guard take a banner?
No, it's only the Riders and the Warriors of the Dead.
The Warriors of the Dead.
But that's
so at
not
least
bad.
Exactly. At least half your army can take the banner. So that's a plus.
Yep.
I thought about it,
So this, honestly, I actually really, to be clear, I'm going to talk about the weaknesses, but I really like this list. I am basically would be taking the same hero, same configuration, maybe chuck in a Dernhelm as well, just for a bit more oomph. Mate, you could do some weird stuff, like, I don't know, dismounting Mary to give someone else a heroic combat. He's a hero.
Nasty. Just before we get too far into that, do we think the Shadowfax call?
No. Also, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What is it? Unless you're saying Shadowfax calls 1, then Gandalf calls 1, but that's bogus.
He's a hero.
Okay. Anyway, like you said, though, Legolas, more people are taking him, which is just really accentuated how fucking inconsistent he is in combat. You genuinely need him to kill at least one person who's touching, because otherwise he's gonna fail and take a wound.
Yep.
And it sucks. Because it feels like he should be more reliable, but he just isn't. The main thing with this list, and it's a really good model count for considering you have 13 mounted models, you need all of your pieces to be together all the time.
Yep.
It's like a lot of where you especially old like yellow alliances. I'm thinking like dwarves in the front, Galadriel pikes in the back, things like that. You need your Warriors of the Dead in the front. You need your Citadel Guard behind. You need your cavalry. Maelstrom, Divide and Conquer. I assume it's going to come back into the rotation. Recon, even when you're delayed, those things are going to be really, really annoying to deal with. Aeon's Warband is also quite large, so your deployment is actually going to be somewhat restricted. Because you can only take the Royal Guard in his, you can only take any of the Rohan in his warband. But otherwise, it is really solid. It is really solid.
Yeah. Who's the leader?
It's Legolas. To be clear, it definitely is Legolas.
Definitely Legolas.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't. Aim is
I just asked.
technically Aim is definitely technically the most sturdy, but he should also be the one going craziest and just doing what needs to be done, doing the dirty work.
Cool. Easy.
One thing that I look at this list and I think it would struggle with a little bit would be monster heavy lists to a degree, in the sense of like a Gwaihir can cause problems, because even if Aemir does strike up and win the fight, him killing Gwaihir is still tough on natty sixes.
A high courage monster like your Bayon, your Gwaihir is going to be a real issue. Your trolls, not so much, because your Warriors of the Dead are going to cut through
Completely
it like butter.
agree.
But yeah, the Gwahirs and stuff with the higher 5 value, you're really relying genuinely on Legolas's Elven Blade to do a lot of heavy lifting, which you don't want it to.
Yeah.
Fair. Look, at least you got the option in there as well.
I play Irolas Heroic Defense.
All right. Now we're moving on to Battle of Five Armies, 600 points, but we're rocking 33 models, 7 might. Thranduil on his Great Elk and heavy armor. We've got 3 Mirkwood shields, 3 Mirkwood glaives, 3 Mirkwood bows, and a Mirkwood knight. A Lake Town Captain Militia for the yellow soup. Then the 8 Militia spears, 4 Militia bows, Nori, the D9, Iron Hills Banner and Shield, 4 spear shield warriors, and then 3 crossbows. Tyler, talk us through. I want you to talk us through the weaknesses first, and I want Alex to talk about the strengths.
He can't.
Because yes, he can. That's the whole reason why I'm doing it.
Okay, so main weaknesses are the Lake Town side of it. D3 is pretty brutal. So it's again reiterating the fact that you almost want that optimal shield wall engagement where you have the elves and the dwarves in front and the spears in the back. I will say, though, the Lake Town Militia Captain getting D6 is pretty nice. For some strange reason, he's D6. But the concerns that I definitely have is obviously might at that points level. At 600, you just are concerned with some of those spammier lists like Ugluk Scouts or just lists that can get value town for their might. But again, it's one of those things where I think you can mitigate some of it. Other concerns, the banner can only be on the Iron Hills Warriors. So if they die or you get a crappy Maelstrom roll and you are having your dwarves off in La La Land and they just get jumped, you losing banner VPs, because I'm pretty sure banner VPs are now in whole ground, you losing them is pretty big. And that's a concern with this list is definitely you're potentially going to be more susceptible to losing some of your VPs because that banner can't be passed around. The Great Elk as well. Thranduil's good. I have some concerns because he doesn't get the extra attacks, but I mean, he's strength 5 on the charge. If he kills everyone he's in combat with, he does get a free heroic combat the next round. Yeah, that's just me. How about you, Alex? What are the strengths? What do you think? Are there strengths? You can say no.
Strengths. No. There are definitely strengths. It's a solid list. It's reminiscent of Yellow Alliance bogusness, but it's just green. Nori is just an absolute disgusting tank. D9, 222 with a throwing weapon, with strike. He is so good. I think genuinely point for point, one of the best models in the game, point for point.
Yep.
Iron Hills honestly carry this list. Genuinely, don't even get me started. Those dwarves do so much work. The Lake Town stuff just fills in the numbers, but the spears, you just chuck them behind wherever you need them, you throw them in. There is an argument for Hilda Bianca to get more hitting power. I think you have enough hitting power from the dwarves and the elves and Thranduil, so getting the extra point of might and the march is probably worth it. And then the elves, obviously no +1 to wound here. Elves are elves, the new glaives are exceptional. The Mirkwood Knight is expert rider, so you're picking up objectives, and you have, even though it's a 6+ intelligence on them, I believe, because they're worse than other elves, it's still fine. I do share some reservations about Thranduil, but you could take Tariel and Lord People, but Thranduil is definitely more of an obvious threat.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
You could spam out with Tariel, and you could spam out, and you get to 39 models, and it's great. The concern is all of a sudden Tariel could potentially be your leader.
Yeah.
And it is your leader at that point, because you don't want to put it on Nori, because Nori's mobility will cuck him a little bit. His 2 might will also, even though he's D9, the concern is if he's trapped, you're getting through wounds at some point. He's only 2 he's only 2 fate, 2 wounds. Tariel then becomes your leader, and it's just a little bit great, now she's D5. Yes, she has Elven Cloak, but it's not as, I think, sturdy as Thranduil is, considering he is fight 7 now.
And also, I will say, he's Instill Fear for a more elite army. 33 models at 600 points with these models, with the Instill Fear to buy yourself turns, is exceptional.
Huge.
Yeah.
See,
would you go Dane?
Tyler?
Would you go Dane? Because that's the other option. The only concern is you're paying another 50.
Yeah.
15 points, and then you're paying another 20 points for Tariel.
Yeah.
And that's
I
Because
personally
then
would.
where do you get the models? But
yeah, where
I
do you get
can't.
the models?
But I like it. But I do like it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think this list here, the fact is there's no one single. That's the scary part right there. You know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
this is an amalgamation of models that make this list sing. Nori being so points efficient, Thranduil being strength 5, and the potential to get a bit of momentum with the heroic combat. You've got a couple of element glaives. We're talking about 4 Iron Hill warriors, spear shields, really carrying the front line here. Like that's 4 models. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that when you talk about that and you pull that single isolated piece out of here, I think it just speaks straight to the Battle of Five Armies as we're currently, seeing its
Oh,
new
yeah.
evolution.
It's also worth mentioning as well the Great Elk getting the one time per charge the impact hits.
Yeah.
As soon as you can, you get the free heroic combat, and then every turn you're hitting a heroic combat, charging 2 more dudes, doing 2 more strength 5 impact hits.
Only once. It's only one. You can't do 2.
Once
only-
You can
per
hit 2 people.
charge. So you
Can't
hit
hit
2
2,
people.
or even if you hit 1, but then you heroic combat and hit another, for sure.
Really? I thought it was
Yeah.
only once.
We're going to keep moving. We've
Yeah.
got the Battle of Five Armies at 800 points. This is 40 models with 11 might. We've got Bayon the Big Bear, Tariel with an elf bow, 2 Mirkwood shields, 3 Mirkwood glaives, 4 Mirkwood bows, 2 Mirkwood knights. Nori, spoke about him. Banner, this is looking very familiar. 5 spear shield dwarves, 2 crossbow dwarves. Lake Town militia captain, beefed up spears. 7 spears, 3 bows. Then we've added in Hilda Bianca for that hitting power to give your Lake Town weak link a decent hit. 3 spears and 3 bows. Tyler, this is close to your heart. Run me through the strengths. And specifically, one thing that's in my mind right now is if I was to copy and paste this onto my board tomorrow, how would I play this list and what would it look like upon deployment?
Okay, so for me, the biggest strengths are Bayorn being the biggest freaking distraction piece known to man. Now that he can freely transform, and I will say he doesn't benefit from heroic actions from any of these models or stand fast whatsoever. In some respects, that's actually a really good thing. So you're able to, in theory, because of the wording of the transformation of Bayorn, he almost gets a pseudo like 10 and a little bit more inches of movement. Because technically his charge starts from the transformation. So he can transform around a corner or around a building, and then he can see a model and he can go and charge it.
Thank you, J. Claire. Thank you.
So he's a really big distraction piece, and they have to deal with him. He's so good. Monster Charge, Fight 8, still has Strike, Strength, and for some freaking reason, Defense. But I don't know. Can't help you there. But he's really efficient and is consistently now the fact that Barge is even better, he's so much more consistent. And then you have Tariel and Nori that to me are the Iron Hills Dwarves that are the real MVPs of this list. Okay. And then obviously you bring in Hilda Bianca for the +1 to wound. And then go from there. But yeah, that's just me. I took this list recently to a tournament. I did well with it, and that's it.
You did well. You won it, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm trying to be
Well done.
like not
Well
an
done.
asshole. Either way.
Some people trying to have fun with 3 trolls, but whatever.
Yeah.
Alex, instead of talking us through like the weaknesses, because I feel like it's very much the same, talk us through what you would be looking to do to pick this list apart.
Number 1 is like realistically, unless you have very particular models in your army, how are you keeping Bayon away from your army? What are you doing to slow him down? And what are you doing in the meantime? you can't relax too much. If you commit too many resources to him, one, he's obviously the leader, but D8, 3 wounds, 3 fate. He's a monster. Fight 8 is disgusting. Heroic defense makes genuinely zero sense. As I said in one of the previous videos, at what point in the movies did Bayon go, no, no,
Don't touch me.
but if you leave them alone, Nori, Tariel, and Hilda Bianca with that +1 to wound D3 scumbags is just such a menacing group. It's so annoying. And the thing is, some lists are just not equipped to deal with it. There's just quality everywhere. Bayon is just that guy that just smooths all the issues of, oh, you didn't have the punch of Thranduil anymore? Bayon. You don't have a leader that's like really solid? Bayon.
Yeah. And then it's for me, it's like also you go into like, oh, they have a Gua here. It's like, cool, I knocked that bitch prone.
Knock it prone, Gwahi doesn't strike. Yeah, it's just
it has some like Bayorn solves a lot of problems, and the other thing I realize is him getting the reroll of ones when he's with somebody else. I was like, I had a Lake Town Militia Captain in Bayorn against Gua here, and I was like, wait, I get to reroll these ones that I roll with Bayorn. Great, cool, and scene. It's
because you needed that.
Yeah, I definitely needed it, but it definitely has a lot of play. It's a lot of fun, but it definitely the main thing is Bayorn's the huge distraction, and to be honest, Nori and Tariel in the Iron Hills are the MVPs. They are the people that are actually confirming you kills and starting to mince through troops.
Yep.
Love it. All right, Balls of Thranduil, 600 points. Big Daddy Thranduil. Fuck, I'm sick of him already and saying him. He's got his elk, he's got his armor. This time he's rocking 5 Palace Guard with spear and shield, 4 Mirkwood elves with bows, 2 of the knights, 2 of the rangers, 3 of the elven glaive Mirkwood warriors, and a single warrior with shield. Then we've got the Palace Guard captain with a shield, 444 of shield, glaive, and bow. 31 models in total, 5 might.
This is a J list, isn't it? I didn't write this.
I definitely wrote it.
Really?
It was quick.
The order of the things is just so unlike you. I was like, surely it's J.
No, it's because I was so.
You wash your mouth. That was soap, young man.
It's because they have
the fuck out of here.
It's because I realized because I was at 598, and I know how much you guys have caught me out with like, why do you have 2 extra points?
No. But now this edition, it's reasonable though. It's really hard to fill up your points perfectly.
It is. But either way, that's why.
Just write J list and get good people.
Oh, no worries.
Well, Jay, what do you think? What?
No, Alex, you go. I'll be nice.
I don't know. I was going to say you can participate in the video.
Yeah, you got this. You go ahead, sir. We can observe your opinions.
Yeah.
I hate this list with a passion. Tell you the truth, it's got everything you want. The Palace Guard, the death ball of what Thranduil does with the +1 to the fight value, as well as the +1 to wound still. You then pair that with Fight 6 Palace Guard. Fight 6 in this game troops are just money. The amount of Fight 6, minor, or let's go mid heroes that we're seeing is such a pain in the ass. All of a sudden, you can't just charge this line at 31 models at 600 points with, let's say Haleth, for example. Haleth goes in and realistically you want him to just kind of carve through and punch a hole. You can't do that anymore, especially because everything's now got the elven weapons. Haleth will bounce, and he will bounce hard and more consistently than what this list will. It's got everything you want. We've spoken about the glaives and how powerful they are, and I don't think we've also touched on the Mirkwood Knights, the fact that they're now Fight 6, and they also get +1 toughness within 6 inches of Thranduil?
Yeah,
so
they go to
D6.
D6.
Fleetfoot, they're running through forest. I think that they are.
Are they Fleetfoot? I don't think they're Fleetfoot.
Well, are they? No, because their Fleetfoot doesn't exist anymore. I'm pretty sure.
Woodland they have woodland creatures.
You know what?
Part of
I
their
say
special
they're woodland
rules.
creature. Can you guys fact check me in the comments and let me know down below? Otherwise, genuinely, this list really, it has it all. Every time I build an evil list and I send it to Tyler, he's like, God, Schnitzel, man, can you imagine if you ran into Horse Thranduil? And I'm like, fuck, yes, I can. And it wouldn't be nice because it's got it all. It outfights me and it actually it kills so hard. What more do you want to say, man?
I want a banner.
You don't need a banner with this, but you've got everything else.
The general's a banner, but not a VP banner.
Yeah. Look,
Which
you are
is
in
great.
some instances you're playing 4 points down for sure, but like, well, you know,
Yeah.
I still think you played the game well enough and punch and kill through a shitload quicker than what other elves would.
Yeah. And if you break it and you're unbroken, then in theory you get more points than them anyway. It's
True,
always a good thing.
100%. Tyler, is there what's the weaknesses? What's the weaknesses?
Everything revolves around Thranduil. I think that's the biggest weakness. So if he gets jerked around whatsoever, if he runs into a Muster of Isengard list and they keep jerking him around and compelling him away, I think it definitely hurts. But it's so hard to try and do that. And then Sorcerer's Blast as well. Does it kill the mount if he gets Sorcerer's Blasted anymore? I can't remember.
You get still enough prone, so yeah, it'll be.
So it will go away. Okay, yeah. So like it just depends. Magic's probably going to be its weakness a little bit, but other than that, it's just going to be so consistent. And they don't even need Thranduil to actually be in the freaking fight. He just needs to be there and just read and reacting to edges, and that's it. It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, let's have a look at the 800-point version of it. Tyler, do you want to run us through the list?
Yep. So Thranduil, same specs as basically the last one. So 5 Palace Guard with with Spear and Shield. 4 bows, 2 knights, 2 rangers, 3 with glaive, 1 with shield. Palace Guard, the same exact list. And then basically Legolas comes in with another 3 shield, 2 glaives, 2 bows, and another Mirkwood knight. At 40 models, 800, 13 bows with Legolas's additional, because it counts as bow shot. So another 2 bows there. Or bow shots there, 15 shots. It just has everything that you really want it to have, and now you have a way of trying to snipe out banners or snipe out things that are in contact with a banner. It's an interesting thing to have to go up against this across the table. But yeah, I definitely don't want to have to. It'll do what it wants to do. It's whether or not is it always gonna be able to play for objectives, who knows. But yeah, we'll see.
I still think it does. I do have to ask quickly, why did you go for the Palace Guard captain over Tario?
Movement.
Is it just March?
I mean, the first 6 scenarios that we have right now require movement, like quality, getting to where you need to get to quick. And going across 24-inch gaps between deployment zones sucks. And if they have 4 turns instead of 3 turns in theory of just kiting you, they will.
It could be 5 turns even. If they
move back.
Even Fog of War, they have no incentive. They can be 0.1 millimeters back from the 12-inch line.
Yeah.
And that's all it would take. The issue is, Mirkwood feels like if you took Legolas and Tauriel, and just the list itself is so good, just head to head, but it misses those like small things. The march, the banners are just small things that take away from the list, but like it is super strong without it.
Because we can appreciate that it doesn't have those things though.
Yeah. Oh, I do really like it. Ooh. I wish it was more of a balancing mechanic, but it feels like when you look at some other lists, it doesn't make sense they don't have it. It is worth noting as well, the Palace Guard captain no longer gets the +1 to wound.
But he does go to fight 7.
He's still fight 7, which is amazing for the amount of fight 6. AMers, Wolf is... I don't think Wolf is crazy. When he gets on a roll and calls that free heroic challenge...
It's freaking nuts. I'm like, I don't remember this in the movie. I definitely don't.
This dude did nothing.
I just remember him having a winch in the corner.
Dude, my father. Sorry. Well, yeah. Basically, Halls of Thranduil is Halls of Thranduil. Next.
Yeah. Alex, run us through this one, bro.
Why does this shit all stink? I just don't want to play against any of this. This sucks. Anyway, the last alliance, we have Gilgalad, Isildur, and a Rivendell captain with just shield, no mount, but we have just the one banner, but nine Kingsguard on the roof. Worry, we'll talk about that. Anyway, 8 Kingsguard, 9 Kingsguard, a lot of bows. The Numenorians now at fight 5, which is brilliant. You will notice Isildur cannot take the ring anymore with Gilgalad, which is regrettable. But 37 models, 800 points. You have the Whirl of Blades, Whirl of Steel,
World of Steel.
Whirl of Steel, which gives you the potential for some cheeky wounds and is more than anything just a massive psychological toll. That is just fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just a solid list. I think there's a question of it's just which heroes do you take, but
shout out to our Discord chat just before. In case you haven't heard, we have a Discord running up and live. There'll be a link down in the description below. We were just chatting about Muster of Isengard and how powerful they are. The fact that they're throwing, potentially 4 dice to win a combat at fight 5, they run into something like this, and before they would hit combat, the potential for them to just die is huge. Your elite armies, even if you go against Halls of Thranduil, okay, you could potentially, run into that same I'm fight 6, you're fight 6. To natty 6 them to death, like I think that's almost like a leg up. Do you know what I mean? However, we all know the bane of dice, and when dice are good, you have a great game. When dice are bad, you sit here cursing this list and be like, what the fuck? Shit. Tyler made a really interesting point here. We kind of went back and forth on the characters that you take here, and the general consensus was Gilgalad providing that fight 6, and Isildur taking a horse for that hitting power. Tyler, do you want to elaborate more on it?
Yeah, so obviously Gilgalad is nothing like what he was in the previous edition and has gotten dismantled to the nth degree and somehow increased in points. But we can't talk about that, whatever. Either way, him still bringing the fights.
Come on.
Either way, him being able to bring the fight 6 troops is huge. Him being just a nice little infantry roadblock is actually pretty handy, even though he can't have the horse. I genuinely think him being in between the lines is actually not too bad. Isildur, fight 7 now, on the charge, 4 attacks, still strength 5, 10.5 weapon. He's crunching through a lot of it, and he doesn't cost anywhere near the points that Elrond or Elendil do. He's 25 points less than Elendil and 40 points less than Elrond on horse. Yes, Elrond gets his foresight, but you then have to sacrifice Gilgalad. I just don't think that's just the play. I do believe the Rivendell captain is the 3rd hero that you need to take because you just want that ability to threaten the Whirl of Steel special rule. And I think people are also underestimating the reroll ones for courage checks. I think statistically it is actually better for this army to be able to reroll ones to pass courage checks.
Especially because they essentially require them to roll a 1 to fail.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
So that's I definitely believe that's really good. And then what was the other special rule for Last Alliance? It's like, was it it's the strength of Numenor, right? Numenor gets like reroll 1s if they're spear supporting an elf or if they're being spear supported by an elf. Sure. I think. But otherwise, go from there.
I'm only taking this shit for you, man. I'm not playing it.
Oh my god. Either way, I just think it has a lot of good things going for it. The fight 5 constantly everywhere, and then the fight 6 as well. Yeah, you go from there.
Alex, how do you take this apart?
Realistically, you get behind it, you split them up. As soon as they are relying on winning fights to do their damage, to get their things, as soon as you can start pulling them off, getting into 1v1s as soon as possible, fight value gets better the more dice they have. You need to start pulling them apart, going for 1v1s, especially those D5 Numenorians and D4 Numenorians with the bow can fall extremely quickly. Gilgalad now having a very obvious bubble of danger with the 6-inch movement. You stay away from him. You do what you need to do. If you need to have your heroes hit 2 elves or 2 Normarines and strike up and just kill them, you do it. You just take models off the board no matter what you need to do.
Couldn't agree more. This is, I don't know, it's very interesting. Going against the previous edition Last Alliance compared to this Last Alliance, like not having to worry about a ring and someone just through your army, and on top of the fight 6-4, it was a lot harder to break it up. But I mean, Guahe is perfect for this. Guahe is such a menace for just running over, killing that D5, and fucking love Guahe.
Bayorn ran amok, so I don't mind.
Speaking of shit, this is Sean's.
Did Sean take a photo with his phone and send it to you?
No, I think I just had to. And I just
what
blew
the
it up.
fuck is
Why
this?
is that so fucking blurry?
Because you don't need a lot in Dale to.
It's so
smash
blurry.
people.
It looks like there's 3 wind lances in it. What the
Well,
fuck?
let's have a little gaze because we've got Girion with the wind lance. He is accompanied by 10 Dale warriors with shield and spear, 6 Esgaroth bow Dalemen, and a banner Daleman. Captain of Dale. Don't worry, no bow. 7 Dale warriors with spear and shield, and 4 Esgaroth bows with 2 more wind lances. The word on the street is that other podcasts have looked at Dale and gotten chubs when looking at the list, claiming that this is the best army in the game. We have had, what was it, 2-3 hours on Discord the other night talking about Dale, and shout out to Brandon, the Texan, who convinced and made a very good, strong argument that Dale was the best. But I don't know. Rather than doing the strengths and weaknesses here, because I feel like this has been covered a lot already, I want to just do like a roundhouse discussion on: do we think this is peak 2nd edition SBG? Yes, no, why? Alex, I'm going to hit it to you first, man.
If my options are yes or no, yes.
Why though?
+1 to wound. And also shooting just being better this edition and less anti-shooting. That's it.
What 5 value are they?
4.
Okay.
That's fine. That's great. Strength 3 bows, 3s to wound, the +1 to wound when either in your deployment zone, which when you think about it, domination's half the board, or within 3 inches of a wind lance. Look, Sean, I think got a bit excited. I think you drop at least one of those wind lances, get a captain and some more dudes.
Yep.
But
What, captain 2 more dudes or 1 more dude? Captain's like 55, right?
it is 55. Fuck it.
You
Drop
just
them
keep it
both.
like-
Drop them both. You still have a wind lance. You don't need that many.
I need more wind lance.
But still, it's just the potential. The potential. It's and also 3 trolls. Remember, they have the anti monster shooting. 3 trolls, the eagles, wraiths on wings, trolls generally, fell beasts generally. They're gonna be everyone's on their monster hard on. This list puts them in their place. Smaug, get next 700-point tournament. Watch out. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. And I'm gonna be in the fucking anti-aircraft gun seat, launching bolts. Isla, yes or
Tyler,
no?
what do you say, man?
I say yes, but we're not that bad down here to have to need to play this, and I think our boards as well are going to be able to mitigate a lot of the quote unquote quality output in terms of shooting for this list. Look, if you want to move your wind lance up so you get the +1 to wound, fine. I got no fucking problem. However, the being able to always get quality line of sight from that fucker, nah, sorry. Just on quality boards with quality terrain on it, where it's dense.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
We're fine. We're gonna be fine. GBHL, hey, you have at it. No
Okay,
worries.
we
You
just
need your
said it.
shooting touches. I can, no worries.
Tyler, I love that you had to look at the camera when you said
Absolutely.
that.
They need to know who they are. They need to know that you can't just pull out 3 tents in a forest.
Yeah, dude, 3 tents in 2 fields. That's what.
I think we've hit the nail on the head, and this is why us Australians are a little bit opposed to this, Wrath of Dale coming through. I mean, Sean's been on the Wrath of Dale for fucking years now, and look where that got him. But right
It's off the
now,
channel.
right now, sitting here thinking to myself, like, yeah, it's powerful, like raw power gamer, like get your heart on, that's fine, but like you still got to play the game, and do the roles, and do the in the ways. And we know that shooting is not the most crazy thing ever. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I don't know.
I mean, Maelstrom is an interesting one against this.
Yeah.
Like, if you get close and are willing to spend might to divide up and get in range of all these wind lances, one of these wind lances is going to be on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely, I'm like, cool. So one of them's going to be on their own, and if they're within whatever range, it's like, cool. I'm going to get within 12 inches of it, so you can't fire it. I'll absorb your 4 to 6 warrior Esgaroth bows. Let's run it. I have D6. If they have D6, you're running that any day of the week.
The fact that these motherfuckers are 7 points, which are the exact same points value as a Lake Town guard, and get more options, is just bullshit in my mind.
It's crazy.
The Dale sales must be really down. So anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Battle of Fornost, 800 points. I genuinely believe this is one of the lists to tinker for, because Jesus fucking Christ, they got so much. We're rocking 800 points, 37 models, 11 might with Ayanor, with his horse and lance. He's got 6 tin cans with shield, 3 with spear and shield, 3 with bow, 4 fight 5 with Stirret, Glorfindel with Asphalov, 2 Riv warriors with shield, 5 Riv warriors with spear and shield, 5 bow, and a Riv warrior with banner. We've then got Arnath with 3 Hobbit archers and 2 Rangers of the North who have to pay for their armor. But we're talking 14 bows. No. Does that not have to pay for armor?
No, they definitely do. It's
but you're
criminal.
not
That's why
taking
I didn't pay fucking armor.
No, I know. No, I know you
Criminal.
haven't. Sorry, the armor is not included. However, you do have to pay for armor if you wish to take, which you should never. But we're rocking 14 bows here. I feel like I've done a lot of talking here. Tyler, talk me through what's good about this list. 'Cause I know it's good.
To be honest, with the monster heavy meta that it is, this actually is a monster hunting fucking. These two heroes
crazy.
have all of a sudden, Aornor got one of the best buffs, and we believe that should have been the special rule from the freaking beginning, because it was so restricted before. But now him getting that makes him even fucking fucking.
Sounds like a good shit.
Either way, either way, you have quality tin cans. Gets D7 across the board. Potentially, still have D6 wherever. Mightable shooting with the 2 Rangers and Araneth. So I just think it has a lot of contingencies and a lot of stopping power with other big heroes. And yeah, I think the weakness for me is obviously Aranor having to be the leader is a little bit interesting.
And still must charge and everything.
And must charge and such. So it's not like but the Ministry of Knights, they went from fight 3 to fight 5. And I'm like, huh?
Fucking hell.
These guys are fight 5. My Rivendell Knights should be fight 6.
Yeah. Alex, you're used to seeing shit. How does this go, and how do you pull this apart?
Pull it apart. Oh, it's got me straining.
Alex needs to shit bucket.
Realistically, you can do some really nasty stuff with baiting Ayanor, which gets them. I'm still on the train of I can't believe you don't have to dismount, but whatever. I know they clarified it. That sucks. But yeah, you can bait him.
You were
out.
wrong.
They have to. No, just because they made the rule doesn't mean I'm wrong. Anyway, it just means they have to save him. Put out your random captain or something, especially off a heroic combat. They call it heroic combat. You see a little captain sitting there, be like, "Come charge me, come on," and it means they have to go dig him out. Glorfindel's just a beast. I can't believe I'm even saying this, but especially you just don't want to. You just don't want to take here. You just don't want to take monsters.
No.
Two-handing with +1 against monsters
Fucked.
cleans them off the board.
Yeah.
At least you can still sneeze on him, but like I'd nearly drop a Ranger of the North, get another banner.
That's fair.
Just so you can follow the heroes and make sure they keep grinding, because it's just a really solid thing. Especially if you can get enough dudes to get shield wall in the front with the elves behind.
Yep.
Do some mean business.
Yeah. I don't see a world in which Iarnor doesn't get accompanied by Glorfindel with this list. Like this list, so this is potentially a weakness as well, in the sense of like Iarnor and Glorfindel are going to be butt buddies and literally fucking go together everywhere, because as soon as they do this, they become a shitload easier to isolate and, bait and kill. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's fucking solid, and Jesus Christ, have fun with that, people.
Aeronauts also fucking Chad.
That's not the quality I sent this shit to. That's
atop the wall. We're rocking 700 points here for something different. 35 models with 8 might. For some reason, quote unquote, old man can see the fucking screen fine. But Gandalf the White, who is rocking Shadowfax with Pippa Pin, 2 Knights of Minas Tirith. We've then got Warrior with the banner, 4 Warriors with Shield, 5 Warriors with Shield and Spear, Aerolast, Jerd with 11 longbows, and a single Warrior with Minas Tirith fucking Shield and Spear. Did Jay write this list? This is very out of whack.
Oh, anyway, wait.
Captain of Minas Tirith with 3 more shields and then 4 with spear and shields. So
9, 10.
Alex, you wrote this list. Yeah, Alex, you wrote this list, not me, even though it looks like something I would write. What were your thoughts? And
Gandalf's really cool.
That fish fucking sick. This is the edition for game.
No, Jay, I played him for the first time tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have to say there's some things. Firstly, the extra attack and the extra fight value, game changers. But also, Pippin gives him resistance to magic, reroll 1s to wound, can use all his heroic stats, so he gets an extra might, will, and 2 fate.
Dumb.
He can use Shadowfax's stats. That includes 2 will. You can't cast spells with it, but you can use them for any special rule that makes you use will or resisting on top of your resistance to magic, and another fate point. So you have 6 rerollable fate.
Holy fuck.
Enjoy getting rid of them.
I have to ask, if you channel, can you just use Shadowfax's will? The 1 will point that you're required to with the channel?
Because he can't cast at all. He can't use his will to cast at all, unfortunately.
Big sad.
You're okay.
But otherwise, you've got... Look, that one guy, I made this in 30 seconds. That one dude in Neros' Warband is just a sick guard with a spear to run behind him.
Yeah.
You have March, the captain, going up to defense 8 in Shield Wall. Stunning. Love it. You're just a really solid list. Hadron Mortal actually matches up against a lot of solid lists. Kirith Ungol. I think Barad-dûr still has Mortal keywords, so I think that's fine. Minas Morgul.
That's a big one.
Minas Morgul's definitely the big one, which is fantastic. There's also enough range threat between the longbows, and even Gandalf, Sorcerer's Blast. He puts terror on himself turn 1, and then he just starts blasting. If they have a Ring Wraith, or, I don't know, Spectres, start banishing them immediately. Barrow-wights, get them out. Werewolves, get them. Irolas is a Chad, go into 2 dudes, shield, smack one of them in the head. Love it. It's just solid. Fight 4 is fantastic. That felt great. And as soon as you scale up from here, you probably look at Trebuchet, extra banner, more dudes.
Yep.
That's it. Yep.
Thoughts? A glaring thing for me at the moment is, what do they do with a couple of big heroes? Let's put this into something like Battle of Fornos, right? We've got Iarnor and Glorfindel. Obviously, Glorfindel is more tweaked towards killing heroes, but there are 2 threats here, right? How do you deal with them?
Realistically, we immediate thing because obviously both of them now have just resist magic, no double resist.
Mhm.
I'm throwing sorcerer's blast every turn until I push through a dismount, and then we work from there.
Okay.
Or shooting until we work through. You got to be really smart about where you put your sick guard for the +1 to wound. You got to have them spread throughout the line, and then Irolas moves to where he wants it. You can't just have one big bubble of of longbows, because all you do is they apply both heroes. You double hero combat and just smack all of them. So you got to spread them out through, and once you get them dismounted, that's when you can do some stuff like Irolas. He shakes his chainmail and gets Ayano to charge him. You then get the Gandalf that comes through and goes, awesome. I don't care that I'm low fight. I'll strike. I've got the Elven Blade. I'm strength 5. And let's run it. That's your leader. He's not going to do shit to you. If he's dismounted, like I said, he's D6 with 6 rerollable fate. Have we got that across? It is
Fine.
so... 6.
Stop it.
It's 6. It's 6.
It's unreal.
Is
That's
it?
fucked.
Is it?
Alex, I'm riling you up, bro. I believe
No,
you
no,
wholeheartedly.
no, but-
Keep going.
But yeah, I think you can make plays. It's about you got to shut down the heroes, and then your troops generally outfight a lot of things.
Yeah. Tyler, do you have any crazy weaknesses you can see?
I mean, look, the two big heroes. I genuinely wonder how it goes against monsters.
Yeah, ignore them. Apply Irolas and pray.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
Mhm,
yeah, fucking. I don't know how, like, while here now being able to have the 4 attacks, then get 8 even through a defense. It's like, look
Like,
at my
even
lucky
Bjorn.
2 6s.
That's
Oh,
what the
Beorn's like,
that's what the trebuchet is for.
knock
Knock them down and go from there. Although, mate, you can do some decent damage with the sick guard as long as they're not D8, even D7 though.
Yeah.
That'll
No,
cut.
I mean, even like for me, the double, like +2 to wound against Mordor is
Oh,
pretty
dude, 3s against all the orcs, crazy.
perfect.
Huge.
Even the Morannons that you're usually just like bouncing off of become
Oh,
not as big of a problem.
that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to one of my favorites, the Riders of Aemir, 800 points. I love this list. We've got Aemir with 5-foot shield throwing spears. He is accompanied by a banner Rohan rider, 4 more riders with throwing spear, and 8 more generic riders. Then got Gandalf on Shadowfax with 8 more riders, 4 more riders with throwing spears, and another rider with banner. Tyler, talk to me about shaking and saying to Ayano, come at me, bro.
I do the same thing.
Like this is so interesting. We've got only 2 heroes here, right?
Yeah.
6 might, 28 models, and this has made a meta watch list. Get the fuck out of here.
Look, I think it can cause issues based off how many bows it has.
Oh,
The
yeah.
26 bows plus it gains blinding light on turns where you
I
really
didn't even
need it.
see the bows. 26 bows.
That's
What
what
am
I'm
I
saying.
doing?
So, yes, it only has the 6 mites, but the turn it fucking hits, it's gonna hit like a freaking truck.
Dude, the light.
The light,
That's
dude, you're like
stupid.
you got shaded.
Especially realistically, if you're doing it properly, you moved second.
Yeah.
You haven't had to charge their heroes. There's no, oh, I'm just gonna might it back up.
No.
It's like, no. You are just running through troops and then going, I'm still a 25 model mounted army.
Yep.
You're now equal or less models than me. What are
Yep.
you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you still have 2 banners in this list. That's the other
Yeah.
thing that I loved because I was like, the 2 banners for me, I was like, cool. So each contingent has its own little stopping power of just being able to punch through. Aemir is a fucking Chad in this list. Even the first turn, it's like great. Aemir in theory could kill up to 4 base like infantry just off that turn, let alone your normal Riders of Rohan charge behind the light. What is it? What's the actual special rule called? Can't
And
remember.
speaking of hope.
Morning glory.
Yeah. Thank you, boys. Look to the sun, you fucking muppets.
I like mine better.
Fucking dumbasses. No, wait, is it? Yeah.
Morning Glory just gives me different vibes to Gandalf, but anyway.
Either way, strength 4 with a shade ability behind it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So
It's super cool. And I think just be patient with this list. This is so indicative of all, pre-Rohan kiting you until they've got what they want and then smacking.
And with free hero combats and both having the 12-inch horse, they can do some nasty stuff.
Yep, the combat with the strike from Gandalf to go in and do the sneak attack. It's gross. I lost 13 running orcs on the shade turn that they went in at 650 points.
Yep.
I was like, well, fuck. Now what? Yeah, it's nuts.
Would you take a captain?
Nah.
I think this is great, bro.
Dude,
genuinely.
Imagine, I'm not going to say his name, but imagine, who from overseas playing this shit.
Oh, I can just hear the amount of draws.
Oh, God. Good God.
We've then moved on to like a bit of a sensitive topic in the chat, where does Reclamation of Osgiliath actually belong in the Meta Watch list? And Tyler's going to explain why he thinks yes.
Thank you. Look, I think it belongs in the Meta Watch because of how much I always see Minas Tirith pop up at every freaking tournament. But I genuinely think it has some good qualities. I mean, the interchangeable might between Faramir and Boromir is huge. Boromir still being able to get a horse, the banner, and shield, making him D7 is fantastic. It's able to basically win a lot of combats against Fight 4. It has the once per game if you're within 6 inches of the banner, right? You get +1 to wound when making strikes for any of the Gondor warriors.
Is that?
I'm pretty sure. At the once per game, at the
you...
start of any fight phase, Boromir can use his special rule so long as he's alive and on the battlefield. If he does, then friendly Gondor warriors within 6 inches of Boromir gain.
Yeah, sorry, you said it was the banner. I was like, that's crazy. No. Yeah, you get the once per turn. Yeah, +1 to wound. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, for me, I liked it. I like the fact that all of a sudden your Minister get a punch for a turn. It's pretty quality behind an auto winning fights, or not an auto win, sorry. When you draw against Fight 4, you automatically win. I just think it's really nice. And 9 might still at 600 is pretty chad.
Not to mention Super Boromir. Like, we're used to the fact that Boromir was a hand grenade. Horse or no horse, you're stupid not to take him on horse, but like fucking 9 might to potentially throw at Boromir.
Yep.
Fucking hell.
And you still have the 4 Minas Tirith Knights in this list that are still Fight 4.
+2 to wound potential as well.
Crazy.
Also, Faramir.
Oh, yeah.
3 attacks, Fight 6. Once you break his reroll to wound, free heroic resolve every turn, can turn on dominant 2 for himself and friendly models within 3 inches.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, he's not read the rules.
Yeah.
But
he also, the fact that he has resistant to magic is crazy already in his base profile. Yep.
It's sick.
I definitely love that.
Yeah, Boz always getting +1 to wound on the charge. Crazy.
Yep.
It's solid.
Any crazy weaknesses that you can see, Alex?
Over reliance on Boromir is genuinely the thing. Faramir's on foot, he's just chugging along, he's fine and all, but in order to get, obviously you're going to take for better shooting and take the Rangers. There's 9 D4 models, obviously. The Knights are fine, they are Fight 4. My issue is, these guys coming up against just D6Ls. Winning on equal fight is great and all, but what if they're not equal fight? Or what if they're fighting a spam D2, like Fight 2 or Fight 3?
Sure.
There are positives to the list. This is more so my Meta Watch in terms of watch and see if it is any good. I think it's solid. I think there needs to I'm wait and see.
Look, I just know that Minas Tirith is ever since I've gotten into this hobby for the past 2 years. Minas Tirith is it's
common for sure.
So common, and I just think this is just a good legion alongside atop the wall because everybody loves running Boromir. They just love it. 6 might can go from there.
I don't know why he's a grudge, but anyway. Let's talk about the 800 version of this shit. 44 models, packing 15 bows, 12 might this time. Boss with 3 tin can shields, 4 tin can spear shields, 5 Gondors rangers with spear. We've got 6 Mysterious Knights. Faramir on foot with 5 tin can shields, 4 tin can spear shields, 4 rangers with spear. We've then got Madril with 4 more shields, 2 more spear shields, and 4 more rangers with spear. Realistically, Alex, give me the long and the short of what's changed and how does this scale up?
Yeah, simple thing. Madril is actually, I think, so much better this edition. Being able to reduce your maelstrom rolls by 1, which is now you can't do anymore with might, is
Correct.
phenomenal. He gives you the march on that hero, which is it's just great. You've got a heap more models. I'd say 800 points, and this goes for all the other lists we've covered as well. You're on the cusp of genuinely thinking about 2 banners. And I'd nearly be thinking about doing the same here.
Even with Boromir's 6-inch one. Okay, that's fair.
It's just, there's so many points tied into him. Like, some scenarios, you're looking at like 7 points.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Which is crazy. But yeah, I think you might be able to sneak him in there. But otherwise, it's just a well-rounded. It's what Gondor feels like. It's just well-rounded and solid.
Yeah, I respect that. Tyler, is there any sort of other weaknesses really here that we need to talk about, or can we move on?
No, we can move on.
Okay. Hooray! Guys, thank you so much for listening and watching to the good armies of the Meta Watch for you. If you like this content, you're still listening, be sure to join our Discord. We've been having some mad chats, and honestly, the community growing across the world, and some of the debates and rules, shit that I would never have considered in my life, are coming to fruition. And it's a safe, friendly, fun environment. We're most likely there. Check it out.
We're there right now. If you go over right now, one of us, if not 2 of us, is there right now.
Yep.
From me, from Alex, from Tyler, to you out there on the Discord chat. Good night.
What'd you say?
On the Discord chat. What the fuck is that?
What the fuck is you?